we're going to be talking about angles today. Let me try to get my screen a little bit larger without the camera turning off. So angles are represented by capital letters, and angle ABC is the same thing as CBA. This is read as angle ABC. They sometimes just use this little symbol and put just a number in it faster than putting all three letters, and that's read as angle 2. So we're going to be talking about two different cases here. Things that add up to 90 are called right angles or complementary angles. If they're complementary, it has to be 2. Right angles are just anything that adds up to 90. It might be 1 angle, it might be 3 angles, but complementaries are special. It's just 2 angles that add to 90. So if you're finding the complement of 35, one way to do it is just take 90 and subtract 35, and you're done. Another way to do it would be to say that the 2 of these angles add up to 90. So I'm thinking to myself, what number, when I add 35 to it, would get me 90? And writing an equation. As the problems get harder, we're going to write more of these equations. But if they give you something just so easy as find the complement of 35, just subtract. That's fine. But if you want to write an equation, this is what it would look like. And we would still get that answer of 55. When we start seeing these, it becomes a little bit faster most of the time to write an equation, because this right here says that these 2 angles add up to 90. And we know that this part of it is 13. So what would this number need to be such that when I times it by 7 and add 13 to it, I get 90? And so you could just start guessing numbers and plugging them in. Guess and check always is a method, but it's not usually fast. I could try 10. 7 times 10 is 70. Add 13 to it. That would give me 83. I'm pretty close, but I'm not exactly right. So the faster way to do it is say this part plus this part should get me 90. So the 7x part plus the 13-degree part should get me 90. And then I just solve that equation by using inverse operation. That meant that this part right here is 77. When I subtract 13, I know that this piece right here is 77. And then I could divide by 7, and I know that the unknown is 11. And that angle, okay, what was this whole angle? It was 77. 7 times that 11. 77 and 13 is what gets me 90. So this is my y. This is 7 of my y. Y is 11. 7y is 77. Pay attention to what the problem is asking you for. So they'll give you lots of problems. If you see this little square in the corner, think 90, 90, 90. And then they're going to give you some problems. They're going to use the word supplementary, and supplementary has to be 2 angles that add to 90. Here we have supplementary, but here we don't. Just one straight line, it would not be supplementary. It would just be a straight angle. So supplementary is just special things when you have 2 angles that add up to 90. It happens a lot. So again, we could do this by guess and check. We could plug in 10, that'd give me 40, add 74 to it. Okay, that's like 114. But this is a straight angle, and straight angles or half turns should add up to 180. You can remember that if you do a 180 in skateboarding, you're flipping around, or on your bike if you do a 180. So I am going to write an equation. Guess and check might get me there eventually. I could try 20, plug it in, see if it works. But it's faster to just sit there and go, okay, this 4x part and this 74 part should add up to 180. So let me just work it backwards. Let me subtract the 74 part, that's that part right there. That means that this known part is 106. And then, okay, that known part's 106. That's my answer for this part right here. But let's just figure out what the x is. And 106 divided by 4 is 26 26.5. I did that on a calculator earlier. It's probably good that I didn't do guess and check because I might not have guessed 26.5. So my x is 26.5, but 4 of my x is 106. This is the x, this is the whole angle. That gets a little confusing for kids. You're plugging that number back in to see what the whole angle is versus just the variable right here. This one right here is no longer supplementary. Remember, supplementary is 2 angles that add up to, oh my gosh, my notes are wrong, 180. Okay, 180. Oh my gosh. Make sure you've gone back and fixed your notes. Supplementary are 2 angles that sum to 180 degrees. You can memorize that because it's alphabetical order. C is the 90, S is the 180. 1P is 90, 2P's is 180. This one's not supplementary because there's 3 parts to it. If it was just one part, it would not be supplementary. So here I have a 5x part, a 108 part, and a 3x part that add up to 180. Well, if I get rid of that 108 part, I know that this part and this part, when I add them together, should get me 72. But that's still a little confusing. I would still need to do like guess and check, trying to figure out what that x is. So what you're going to need to do is combine your like terms. This is 5 times an unknown. This is 3 times that same unknown. So that's really just 8 times that unknown. We've seen combining of like terms before. And now we can inverse operation. And we get that our unknown is 9. So our unknown is 9. It's now 9. That's 9. So to figure out 3x, I would do 3 times 9, which says that this angle is 27. And this would be 5 times 9. So this angle is 45. So we could check our answer and we could get a calculator out and do 45 plus 108 plus 27, and we could make sure that it does add up to 108. So remember, if you see the word supplementary, think 180. If you see the word complementary, think 90. If you see a right angle mark, think 90. If you see a straight line, think 180. Even if that straight line's divided into 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 5 pieces, or just 1 piece together, all of those are going to be set equal to 180. Get to work.